What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video here on Muddy Beards 4x4. Today, giving you a long-term review of the Harbor Freight Titanium Unlimited 200 welder, so stick around. I've had this welder since November of 2019. Just full transparency, this was a sponsored product from Harbor Freight back in 2019. They sent this to me after the Harbor Freight winch video, and I actually never made a full review video of it. They never had any expectations of me of making a review video of this, and they gave me no talking points, nothing that I had to do. That's one of the things that I really like about working with Harbor Freight on some of their tools and products, is they give it to me with no expectations of saying, hey, you have to say this, hey, you have to say all these talking points, which a lot of other companies do. They want to give it to me, and they want me to use it, and they want me to give my honest feedback. So with that aside, like I said, I've had this for 2 years now. It is covered in metal, in dust, and dirt, and I have used it a lot. I have built suspension with it, I have built forelinks with it, I've built trusses with it, I've built axles with it, I've built multiple roll cages with it. Now this unit is a multi-process welder. It does MIG, TIG, and stick. I have not once hooked up or used the TIG torch or the stick welding clamp for the stick, still brand new in the box. TIG torch, still brand new in the box. I have purchased everything that I need to actually use it. For the stick welder, I got my tungsten for the TIG, but I've just never had the opportunity or the need or time to do it yet. One thing that's holding me back on the TIG is you need 100% argon gas as a shielding gas. I have 75-25 argon carbon dioxide gas, which you use for the MIG. I would have to purchase a whole nother bottle and have 2 different bottles. I don't have the money or the room. So I just haven't done it yet. Here's some of the safety stuff that I use. This is the Chicago Electric welding mask. This is the one with the blue flames on it. You're gonna need a good pair of gloves. I prefer these TIG gloves. They are a little bit thinner. These are the Vulcan Defender ones, and you can see they are well used, and I do have a little bit of a hole right here in, the web of the thumb, and it doesn't really affect anything. Gives you protection for your arm right here. The MIG gloves are really thick and it's hard to grab things, and I want the feel of the least amount of glove as possible, and these TIG gloves give me that. But you can see on the back here, see it's kind of crusty. I get my hand really close, the back of my hand really close to the weld. If I'm welding for a long period of time, it gets super, super hot. You can see it doesn't melt the leather, but it's kind of, I guess it is kind of melting the leather a little bit. And you can definitely feel that through that, and then you back off your hand or you stop the weld. So if you had those thicker MIG gloves, you probably wouldn't have that issue, but I think it's worth the trade-off of having the feel of being able to do things with your hands and not having those big, thick MIG welding gloves. I'd also recommend a wire brush. You're also gonna want a pair of these pliers, welding pliers. It has a wire cutters on there so you can trim the tip of your wire to keep it nice and clean. It has this little piece in here where you can grab your contact tip and take it out and loosen and tighten it. And you also use the end in the tip right here to clean out the tip just like that. I always have acetone around. Once I clean the metal up with the wire wheel, wire brush, grinder, whatever, I always clean it off with acetone, so that way I can get all the contaminants and stuff out of the metal. So this welder has a 240 plug, and it also has an adapter that allows you to go from the 240 to the 120. So on the front here, we got our digital displays. I'm not turning it on because then the fan's on and it's too loud. We got our wire speed, we have our voltage, and we have our induction. I've set this at 7, and I have literally never touched it since I turned it on the first time. I've left it the same. I currently have Lincoln .035 12-pound spool. There's an adapter for a 12-pound spool. You can run the 2-pound spool right here. This is a 2-pound one. This is .025 I was using for the sheet metal on the RX-7. And this is a 12-pound spool. I use .035 almost exclusively on anything that I do. We have our wheels right here for our different sizes, .035, .030. Flux core has a little bit different. It has a little bit of grooves in it to bite on it a little bit more. And I've never had any issue. I've never touched any of this besides changing out the spool. I've never changed the tightness. I run this about 3.5, 4, and I've never touched it besides changing out this guy right here, depending on the wire size I'm using, and that's it. So this is the gun right here. I am not easy on it. I don't really care. I'm not careful with it at all. I throw it around, drop it on the ground, do whatever I want with it, and it has no cracks, and it is still operating perfectly and in great shape. This is the original tip that came with the machine, and it is still in good operating condition. I have not changed it out. Like I said, 2 years of use, still working just fine. I've used 2 in 2 years of these contact tips. You can see on the ground clamp, it is worn out. It's got chunks out of it from the arc. I do need to replace this. This is the only thing that I need to replace, but I am not complaining about this. It's pretty cheap to replace. I got the welder on the cheapest card at Harbor Freight. It's 40 bucks. It does work. It's not the best, kind of small. A room for the welder up here, and then I have the plasma cutter down here. So this is the regulator that comes with the machine, and you got your 120 volt and your 240 volt switch right here, gas input. So this is our pressure for the tank, and this is the regulator for the pressure that goes out to the welder. I run this typically between 15 and 18, 15 and 20, and the only thing with this is it kind of fluctuates a little bit when you use it. It'll be at 15 or so. You use it for a while and you might check and it might be at like 18. Not the end of the world. You can just adjust it with this. It doesn't fluctuate that much that it really affects the operation or that I even really notice a difference in the operation of the machine. Now, typically I use the chart that's on the inside of the door here, and it's a great starting point. I have found over the years that this machine runs a little bit hot, and running the .035 wire, I do occasionally have to turn the voltage down a little bit in order to get the penetration and the weld that I want. So, should you spend your money on a Harbor Freight welder? My opinion is absolutely 100% yes. This welder has been absolutely fantastic. I've had not one problem with it. The only thing that I would change is this is the titanium 200 with the multi-process. If I was going to be spending my money, I would have gotten the titanium unlimited 170. So this is a MIG only. It's not a multi-process. It's so 170 amps instead of 200, and that's still plenty. It has 240 and 120. Well, that's gonna be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you want to follow me on social media, I am at MuddyBeards4x4. You can check out our website, muddybeards4x4.com. We got shirts, stickers, stuff like that. Until next time, guys, we'll see you on the trail.